Process-wise, as you can see here, we find the right manufacturers that fit your budget and product category and get them designed, and then finally put them into production. As I mentioned above, we are conducting various cooperation methods according to the buyers in each situation. The possibilities are limitless. So for example, for entrepreneurs and business owners, we do formulation to design and packaging. For esthetician spa salon owners, we do formulations and or packaging. And some clients have their own logos and designs ready, so they just submit that to us. And for resellers/distributors, some opt out for only formula or packaging, and some go for just private labeling. So how to start? You'll have two options, private labeling and custom formulation. On the website, we called custom formulation as a custom order, so do keep that in mind. Private label would be for pre-made concepts that only need your branding, which is best for people who need curation or people who want a new product as soon as possible. If you take the custom formulation route, it would be for brand differentiation, quality control, and to get your own brand identity. And this is for someone that needs to create a specific product or a specific market that you want to target. Since this might be hard to understand, we'll take this step by step for each option. For private label, you would go to our website, MAYK-factory.com, and choose a product from the catalog. Moving on to the sampling phase, you need to pay a 10% deposit of the designed product sample. Of course, if you don't like it, you could always get refund minus the shipping fee. Also, if you do change your mind and go for a different sample, you can go for something else and we'll only require you to pay the shipping fee. For folks that plan to test the market as soon as possible, you can proceed without the sampling, which is something that you should consider as private label is a cheap option. Now on the design phase. You'll start preparing the design based on your templates, inputting things like your logo, name, and address. I want to mention that for folks that already have a design team, you can just send the design to us and they will put that right on. For folks that don't have a designer and want better design, we provide a template design for $199 with up to 3 iterations of changes, and a total new concept just for your brand would go for $499. Moving on to the production phase, you'll pay 40% of the total cost to start production, and the remaining will be paid after production. This order placement will take around 3 to 5 weeks in average, so do keep that in mind. Now moving on to the custom formulation process, it'll be a little bit different to the private label process. Unlike the private labeling process, you'll be matched with a dedicated consultant and have a consulting session for $199. Your dedicated manager would provide a detailed process explanation based on your needs. Do note, to streamline this process, we may ask things like your budget, quantity of how many pieces that you want, your benchmark product, key ingredients, volume of product, and packaging preferences. Do prepare these types of information for a smooth consulting session. Moving on to the sampling stage, you would first get a sample for free without any additional costs. And through this session, an approximate unit prices can be provided, and each sample would take about 2 to 4 weeks. And do note that any additional sampling would cost $69. And if you want, you can get an unlimited sampling for $299 for 3 months. Moving on to the design part of the custom formulation. For a small changes on the design, we would do it for free up to 2 iterations. However, if you need a complete new design for your packaging, it would cost $3,000 up to 3 iterations of changes. And let's say if you have no idea on your branding or design, then we can do an all-in-one branding for $7,000. Moving on to the production part, When the sample is confirmed, you would pay 50% of the total payment to initiate the production. And after the production's done, you would pay the remaining 50% for it to be delivered to you. To get a general idea on how much money it may cost to go for a custom product, take a look at this chart. These are some categories that are very popular, and this is what you can expect with us. Do note that this is just an estimation and the total cost can be different. And also I want to note that this does not include shipping, so do take that into consideration. For shipping, depending on your location, it will take about 2 to 4 weeks. We usually do FOB prices, so the responsibility of shipment is on the buyer's responsibility. So if you have a forwarder that you work with, then it could be easier to import from Korea. But if you don't have any kind of forwarder or logistics partner who can afford to import products from Korea, we can recommend some of our foreign agents. For payment, we provide both credit card and wire transfer. So whatever is more comfortable for you, you just let us know. I'm sure you guys may be worried about with the registration process within your country, but I want to mention that we have all the necessary documents for your registration. So just let your expert know, and then they will get the required papers for you. To sum up the whole process, this is a table of both the private labeling and the custom order. As you can see, there is a difference in the sample stage, and the percentage of payment is different. So it would be very helpful if you only look at the options that you want to do. If you guys have any questions about this, it would be better if you guys inquire us on the website, and then we could explain it thoroughly.